Welcome to Expat Choice TV. I'm your host, John Gordon, and today in our continuing series we highlight the works of Dr. Reshie Joseph of the Living Free Institute, where we delve a little deeper to understand trauma in the time of Covid-19.
Hi, my name is Dr. Reshie from the Living Free Institute, and I'm here to talk about the 5 major contributors to trauma in the time of Covid-19. Alienation is what results when human beings are prevented from forming secure attachments to other human beings. If we recall, attachment is a critical survival drive that we all have. It's what drives us to attach to other human beings when we are distressed, when we are in pain, when we are frightened. We have this powerful mechanism that drives us to look for other human beings in a bid to ensure our own survival. The problem with the situation globally today is that in order to survive, we have to isolate from each other. We have to quarantine from each other. We have to separate ourselves from each other in order to keep each other safe. So we have a conflict of 2 primal drives within us, the drive for attachment and the drive for safety, which is today reliant on our ability to not connect with other human beings for fear of infecting them. And this is why alienation has become the inevitable result of the coronavirus pandemic, because we have forced human beings into a situation where they have competing biological drives, one for safety and one for attachment. And if there is a conflict between a biological drive for safety and a biological drive for attachment, the biological drive for safety will always win. So for example, if we look at children, if we look at adolescents, if we look at kids going to school, the thing to understand about these children is that they are in the developmental epoch. Their brains are still developing, and we know from neuroscience and neuroscientific studies that their brain development is dependent on its interaction with their environment. And part of a healthy child's environment involves other children. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the attachment trauma that these children are experiencing? What is that doing to their brain development? What does enforced isolation or alienation in the context of trauma, what does that mean? It means simply this, that a very primal and fundamental drive that we all have for our own survival is being compromised. I think a story would illustrate the difference between alienation and attachment. A palliative care ward is a study in alienation. These people are alone at the end of their lives. Very often, nobody comes to see them, nobody writes to them, nobody calls them. They are alone. They are completely alienated. And this story involves one such gentleman. Never got any visitors, never got any calls, but one day he did receive a letter. He said, I have no idea who the letter is from. It's from somebody I know because it's addressed to me, but I don't remember them. If you ever feel the need to write to someone, whatever the reason, if you ever feel moved to write a letter, particularly to someone who is suffering, don't delay it. Don't put it off. Write that letter, because you cannot know how much it would mean to the person on the other end. Here was a man in the final stages of life getting a letter from someone that he didn't know. If you feel alienated, if you feel isolated, if you feel you do not have supportive attachments in your life, it is something that you can change. But most importantly, for those of us who understand this, if you know someone who is suffering, pick up that pen or that computer or that laptop or that iPhone, pick it up and write to them. Don't delay it. Write to that person. You will never know how much it means to them to get that letter. If you are suffering with alienation, if you feel profoundly disconnected, don't delay, seek help.
Having delved a little deeper to understand trauma in the time of COVID-19, if you feel any effect of any of the areas that have been discussed over the last few shows, please reach out and seek help at www.livingfreeinstitute.com. This is John Gordon reporting for Expat Choice TV.